Okay, so now I'm going to talk about quatrains and couplets. Okay, in poetry, so quatrains and couplets. And in poetry, a quatrain is a 4-line poem or stanza. If it's in a poem, a stanza is like a paragraph in poetry that rhymes and has similar rhythm in all the lines. And here's an example of one quatrain. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. You can see that's a quatrain. It has 4 lines and it has rhyming in it. And then a couplet is a 2-line poem or stanza. And here's an example of that. But along came a doctor who had some glue and made Humpty Dumpty better than new. Okay, so couplets and quatrains can be their own separate poems, or they can be used together in all sorts of ways. Like this, the Humpty Dumpty poem is a quatrain and a couplet. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. But along came a doctor who had some glue and made Humpty Dumpty better than new. So it has 2 stanzas in it. One is a quatrain and one is a couplet. Now, quatrains have different rhyme schemes. A couplet, since it's only got 2 lines, both of those lines have to rhyme with each other in order for it to be considered a couplet. But in a 4-line poem, you could have all of them rhyme with each other if you want. You could have 2 lines rhyme with 2 lines. Well, 2 lines rhyme with each other and the other 2 lines rhyme with each other. Or you can have a mix-up of what lines rhyme with what lines. And I'm going to talk a little bit about rhyme scheme as I'm doing that. So in Humpty Dumpty's poem, the first quatrain has a rhyme scheme of A, A, B, B. And that means that the first 2 lines rhymed and the last 2 lines rhymed. But you can have all sorts of different rhyme schemes. Some quatrains, for example, have the rhyme scheme of A, B, meaning the first and third lines rhyme and the second and fourth lines rhyme, like this. So here's this poem. It says, once upon a time, I had a real bad day. I couldn't make a rhyme, so I just ate some hay. Time and rhyme, and day and hay rhyme. And then you can have all of the lines rhyme if you want to, like this. You can have all sorts of different rhyme schemes like this. And now I'd like for you guys to make some quatrains of your own. And it doesn't matter what sort of rhyme scheme you have, as long as you make some quatrains and also some couplets, if you will. And I'd like for you to do, I'd like you to write 3 to 5. I forget what I said in the packet, but if you got the packet, then you'll know how many poems I'd like for you to write. I think it's 3 to 5, but the packet might say differently, so do what the packet says, and that's quatrain and couplet poetry.